This is the amazing story of Sir Nicholas Winton, the British Schindler, who rescued 669 children from Czechoslovakia prior to the outbreak of the Second World War. Sir Nicholas Winton was born on the 19th of May 1909 in Hampstead, London. He was the second of three children, with an elder sister and a younger brother. Their father was a bank manager, allowing the family to thrive at the turn of the century in a well-to-do area of bustling London. Both his mother and father were German Jews who had arrived in Britain in 1907 when they changed their surname and converted to Christianity so as to be able to better fit into society. Nicholas himself was baptized as a Christian rather than embrace the original Jewish faith of his mother. In 1923, Winton began attending Stowe School in Buckinghamshire, which had opened in the same year, with the motto, "I stand firm and I stand first." The first headmaster, Mr. Roxburgh, wanted a modern approach to education that developed the individual in a liberal manner, tempered with Christian values. Of the various alumni, some of the more public include the actors David Niven and Henry Cavill, along with Chelsea Davy, the former girlfriend of Prince Harry. Many of those of later classes saw active service in the Second World War, with two graduates being awarded the Victoria Cross, Major John Anderson and Wing Commander Leonard Cheshire. Major John Anderson won his VC while serving in the 6th Battalion Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders in Tunisia, North Africa. He won it for his actions in the Battle of Long Stop Hill on the 23rd of April 1943. The British claimed eventual victory thanks primarily to an uphill charge carried out by Churchill tanks that raced to the summit and broke the German defences wide open. In this way, the last natural barrier barring the way to Tunis was breached. British forces entered the key city on the 7th of May and all defenders were killed or captured a week later. Major Anderson led his men bravely against heavy machine gun and mortar fire in a daylight attack against the 1st Battalion objective. He replaced the dead commanding officer and led the survivors to the 2nd objective. Wounded in the leg, he inspired the men under his new command to attack the summit, thereby relieving supporting units from murderous fire. He was later killed in action on the 5th of October 1943 at Termoli in Italy. Unusually, Wing Commander Leonard Cheshire received his VC in recognition of his fearless service over the duration of the war, rather than, as is more normal, for one conspicuous act of bravery. Some of the highlights of his service include what ended up being a solo bombing run over Cologne in 1940, flying a heavily damaged Whitley bomber, for which he was awarded the Distinguished Service Order. He also commanded the famous 617 Dam Busters Squadron at one point, where he developed innovative techniques to land heavy bombs with improved accuracy. 617 Squadron also carried out a daring raid against Munich, deep in the Reich, under his watch, and flew a crucial deception mission on D-Day in the area of Calais. Later, Cheshire was one of the official British observers of the atomic bomb attack on Nagasaki. Returning to Sir Nicholas Winton, he wasn't a great student and in fact graduated without any qualifications. He was much more interested in sport and fencing in particular. He excelled at this discipline and made it to the British team in 1938, hoping to compete in the next Olympics to be held in 1940, following the Berlin Games of 1936. The outbreak of war, of course, ended his medal aspirations. After leaving Stowe, Winton began studying at night school while gaining experience in the banking world. Following his father, his chosen profession eventually led him to work in Hamburg, Berlin, and then Paris for different banks. After his return to London, he became a broker at the London Stock Exchange in the 1930s. Despite his somewhat wealthy background and lifestyle, politically he moved to the left, embracing socialist ideals. Through his associations, he became part of a left-wing circle concerned with the rise of Adolf Hitler and Nazism. The informal group was opposed to appeasement, the policy of successive British prime ministers between 1935 and 1939, to make concessions to both Hitler and Mussolini in Europe and beyond in the hope of primarily staving off a future war, an important consideration given the devastation and misery of what we now call the First World War. Appeasement also hoped to ensure an anti-communist bulwark remained in Central Europe, thus hopefully promising the safety of Western Europe from any encroachments by Stalin. By coincidence, Winton found himself in Prague, Czechoslovakia, in the winter of 1938, as the German army began its occupation, a result of the aforementioned appeasement, thus setting in motion the series of events that led to his brave rescue mission of hundreds of Jewish children. I will return to the details of Winton's later life in the second part. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like and share buttons and subscribe for future content. If you would like to support this channel, then the link to my Patreon account is listed below. As well as making videos covering World War II, I am also an author. My book, Pegasus Bridge, is the first in a planned series covering D-Day and the Battle of Normandy, and is available on Kindle and as a hard copy from Amazon. The link is below. I write descriptive historical fiction, making extensive use of primary and secondary source material, while filling in the gaps of the historical record with my imagination. Pegasus Bridge covers the incredible, gutsy story of D Company, Ox and Bucks, under the command of Major John Howard, and their vital mission to capture 2 bridges over the Corn Canal and the River Orne, close to Sword Beach. Landing by glider at 0:16 hours on D-Day, the platoons sprung into action in deadly close combat, before fighting off an armoured counterattack. Again, the link is below, and remember, you do not need a Kindle to read the electronic version. You can download the Kindle app for free onto your phone, tablet, or PC. If you would like to keep up to date and join a community of like-minded World War II fans, then please check my Facebook page, D-Day and the Battle of Normandy. Thanks for your time and have a great day. Cheers.